in panel.
Gotcha. This is dead.
It's not plugged in. Donnie told me to unplug it earlier.
Okay, got it. Never mind then.
I believe gold.
Find your seats. Find your seats. Get your show rolling. You should know everybody by now, so no need to sit next to new people. All right, find your seats, let's go! Find your seat. It's okay, buddy. All right, hey, it's post-lunch. It's day 3. Who's a little mentally exhausted? Everybody stand up. Stand up. I know what it is. I can see it work out. There you go. Slap it up. destroying your kid, man. What are you doing up there?
All right, so real quick before I turn it over to these guys,
That's one of the records, what I heard.
you know, we often talk about our why. I think y'all talk about it in VIP sessions as well. Like, you know, why do you do what you do? What gets you up in the morning? What gets you moving? My why is not my family. A lot of people, y'all say my why is my kid, my wife, my husband, and that's good, and I don't judge that. My why is because I'm gonna die. There's a tattoo. I'm serious. There's a tattoo on my arm that says Memento Mori. That means remember your death. Lord willing, I got a long time to go. I want to be one of those dudes like 125. I'm gonna break the record. But if I die in a wreck tomorrow, I want to make sure that today was a good day. I want to make sure that when I lay my head down at night, that I know that I serve my purpose and my mission in this world, which is to spread joy. And now I'm gonna cry. And the two people that I love spreading joy the most is my beautiful wife, Laura. I outbid my coverage. I'm very aware of that. And I didn't tell most of y'all. I own the cutest toddler in the world. And his name is Maximus King. And he is going to do great things in this world. He's gonna have a mic in his hand very soon. My beautiful family. All right, so now we're going to go from super sentimental to LinkedIn. How about that? This may be the most excited I am about all the segments of this whole thing, because I've had a podcast and I speak and I do all the things, but one of those things for me that's
And you suck at.
yeah, not like success, but like yeah. But I've had talks with Liam, I've had talks with Donnie. Just a wealth of knowledge. So get your notepads out and get ready for this LinkedIn panel. Donnie, come on up, sir.
Let's do it. Let's do it. One thing I'm telling you, guys, if you are not following these cats, get it done. I looked her up. So, one of the things I wanted to do.
Right.
It's fine, mark it down.
Rufus right here.
When you
I
put
put
in
900.
a lot of time, I fucking work my ass off on LinkedIn, right? You find some amazing friends. Like people that you talk to all the time. You know how close relationships are until you reach out and say, would you come speak? Not a single one of them hesitated. Guys, these are some of the biggest influencers on LinkedIn. When their posts go, they go fucking bananas. Go watch how many comments they get on their stuff. These guys are no fucking joke. How many of you guys follow these guys already? Am I lying? I mean, it's fucking insane. I'm super honored to have you three up here. On LinkedIn, and that y'all give it up. Melissa Cohen. Are you live streaming? Thank you, sir. Come on. So, Melissa, come up first. I need a mic too for the speaker. Oh, thank you. As you come up, Melissa, give them 2 seconds of your background story. And then when did you start working on LinkedIn?
So my background actually is in corporate fashion. I spent over 30 years in that industry. I was a vice president at Ralph Lauren. It was my dream company. I was there for almost 12 years. And then the pandemic happened. And when I no longer had that role, I was shocked at how much of my own self-worth and self-identity was tied up in that. And that's when I realized I had to get on LinkedIn, right? Because, oh my God, I needed a job. And I've had a LinkedIn account since 2008. And 2020 was the first time I ever posted. And I was scared out of my mind, felt nauseous, but that was the first step. And now actually my job. I do LinkedIn and personal branding coaching, and everyone here is the best platform out there. It's a platform of generosity and community and opportunity. And if you're not there, join us there.
100%. It's beautiful. And if you ever want to feel like a celebrity, like she does 2 posts a week, that fucking will rock your world. And I've had the honor of being in those posts a couple of times. She's called out with her quote of mine. Dude, if you get called out in one of those posts, your followers and DMs blow the fuck up. I feel like a celebrity every time with 4 to follow and LinkedIn nuggets. God, it's good. So, hands to Liam, same thing, Liam.
Howdy. I did not work at Ralph Lauren. I don't know if you could tell. I spent 18 years of my career in sales operations and revenue operations at tech startups. I was the guy at the bottom of the funnel who was analyzing data and telling salespeople how to shift strategy. And when I started to post on LinkedIn, my daughter was born in November of 2024. No, November 2019. He's not born.
And that's live.
Sweet. Hi. Sorry, PJ. I decided when I was on paternity leave that I was going to start posting content on LinkedIn. I was spending a lot of time there. I was consuming a lot of content there. I really enjoyed the conversation. I said, you know what? I'm going to start being more intentional about just showing up and having conversation there. And fast forward 4 years, my posts have received 30 million impressions, almost 1 million comments. I've been selected. LinkedIn paid me to be part of their creator program. And I started my own business on the back of the knowledge that I've built for the passion of this platform. It is truly revolutionary. It is a life-changing platform. And the reason is because there are so many fantastic human beings on the platform who have this big community that sort of most people don't know about. 95% of people do not post content on a weekly basis on LinkedIn. 95%. It's a massive fucking opportunity. And the community is just tremendous. So I hope that I can share and inspire some of y'all to start sharing and inspiring others on that platform by the end of the day.
On my title on LinkedIn, the last thing says baby goat dad. And the reason it does is because this is a hot sauce aficionado. Like people send him hot sauce, even in weird ways sometimes, all over the world because of hot sauce. But he taught me one thing. By having that hot sauce in his freaking profile, it starts a lot of conversations because people start off, what's your favorite hot sauce? So, Kevin?
I'm Kevin Turner with TNT Brand Strategist. I joined LinkedIn and I thought I was late. There were under 2 million members. Now we're at over a billion, right? Just incredible growth. I got on there because I was doing a lot of international business, and it was my way to keep connected with everybody every single day that I knew. So you didn't have to, do emails, send letters in the mail, any of that kind of stuff. You were there every day with them, whether they were in Oman or Argentina or wherever it was. You were there every day, and I loved that part of LinkedIn. So I've watched LinkedIn grow, and I've tracked LinkedIn since I joined in the very beginning of 2005. And I kept all the screenshots. So I can tell you when we didn't have a profile picture. I can tell you when we actually were first able to post and how restricted that was and everything else. And I just have that passion for it. I do share new LinkedIn features. And the way I get them, because LinkedIn rolls out in waves, 5 waves, they're randomized. You never are there first. But the way I'm able to share them with everybody is I give everybody credit who brings them to me. And that way we all kind of share in this process. We're not having the FOMO of, oh, I don't have it, or what is it? We're there. We know what it is. We know when it's coming, and we can be prepared. So I love it.
Oh, it's pretty cool. If you're not following Kevin, you guys go ahead and sit down. If you're not following Kevin, he's really, really good at sharing all the updates. How many updates this year? Use the mic so they can hear you. So you have to pass it back and forth.
194
updates.
So far this year. Yeah.
Just on the LinkedIn platform. So we're going to dive in. I want to open it up to you guys too for questions for these guys. My first question is, I know you guys don't look at yourself as celebrities. Like sometimes it's hard to fucking believe that people are like actually looking up to you three, right? How does it feel to actually be a celebrity?
Take it. You got to answer it.
I'm definitely not a celebrity. I think I have by far the smallest following out of all three of
You
us.
actually passed me.
Oh,
Yeah.
and now I'm a celebrity. Okay.
It's those damn 4 to follow posts.
I don't have a huge following, but
15,000. Anybody else got that?
16.
Excuse me.
Wait, who knew that? Who knew that?
Somebody
Thank
else
you.
said it.
Oh, I love, thank you.
See, celebrity.
No, but I will say, like, people do know me from LinkedIn, and people, when I see them in real life, will say, "Oh, I love what you post. I
Mhm.
love what the things that you share." And to me, that's just really special. And LinkedIn for me really is all about community, and it's about sharing what we know, right? Like, that's why we do it. We want to share what we know, our life lessons, what we've learned, and that's really special.
100%. Actually, go to Kevin first and come back to you.
I never look at it as any kind of celebrity status. I think it's celebutante, right? We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. We're getting close. We're going to get there with everybody here. And that's the beauty of it. That's, that's just why I like LinkedIn.
I also don't feel like a celebrity, as you probably got a sense of in the last 48 hours. I honestly, I just believe that human beings being human and connecting with each other authentically and talking about the wins, the losses, everything, there are no strangers here. There's only friends you haven't yet met. That's one of my favorite quotes by Yeats. And I truly believe that. And LinkedIn has only cemented that for me. It's not about celebrity. It's not about followers. It's not about any of that shit. It's about connection and relationship. It's about helping other people and seeing them for who they are. And if you do that, you will get followers and you will get connections, and people will start to think you're a celebrity. But you're not any different than you were prior to the followers, the connections, and the conversations. You're just you being you, and that's pretty fucking rad. So I don't.
I love it. I love it. And then I wanted you guys to see is there's people that have come in the crowd that have come up to me like, oh my God, I can't believe these people are here. Right. And they have no clue that people look at them this way. And it blows. And I just think it's amazing that they've had such success from the platform that they don't even realize that how much people are actually looking up to them. Right. And I think that's a tribute to a lot of the success they've actually found on the platform. So where do people start? There's a lot of people that have heard us talk about LinkedIn. They've heard us say, you got to be there. You got to be on the platform, following you guys. Where do they start? How do they get going on the platform so it starts working for them?
So the biggest piece of advice I give people is, first of all, just do it, right? You have to just start. Because if you wait until you're ready and you feel comfortable and you feel confident, you'll never do it. If posting feels scary and it feels too visible, the biggest piece of advice I have is to use the comments, right? One of the best pieces of advice or quotes I ever heard was from Dan Roth, who's the editor-in-chief of LinkedIn. And he said, content is king, but comments are the keys to the kingdom. And that's totally true. And I fully believe that one of the reasons that I grew the community that I did is because I really, really leveraged comments. I comment on a lot of posts. I think people are probably worried about me the last 3 days because I haven't had the time.
Don't worry, Liam's made up for it all.
Okay. They're like, where is she? But it has to be really authentic commenting, right? Not just like, oh, great post or thanks for sharing. I mean, that's nice, but the comments is really a magical place, and that's where a lot of relationships are built and a lot of connections are made. And so really take the time to read someone's content and leave a thoughtful comment on it. What struck you about it? What really resonated with you? What did it make you do? Did it make you take an action? Did it make you think of something differently? And comments, it's a little less visible, right? Because if you post, you're really out there. But if you comment, your comment is mixed in with, hopefully dozens of other comments. And so it's a great way to build a relationship, but you're not necessarily quite so visible.
So first step to becoming active on LinkedIn is to get out of your own way. And
how do people do that, Liam?
I don't know. You just kind of got to face it. You got to wear weird hats. I think we are all so prone to second guessing our own value and what nobody cares what I have to say. Nobody knows who I am. I don't have a PhD. I'm not polished. Fuck that. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a perspective. Everybody's got a lived experience that you can share with other people that somebody can find value in. And if you start putting that out there, people will find value. And if you deliver value, people will pay attention. They will want more of that. And that will start to sort of create a flywheel effect. That's pretty high level. I coach 4 different strategies. The first is that you have to make sure that your personal brand profile is like a landing page. It's a marketing page. You want people to land on it, learn about who you are, understand the ins and outs of what makes you a human being and what you do for a living. And you want them to leave them wanting more, right? That's 1. 2, you have to follow your fascination, find people who are having conversation on the platform that inspires you to get involved and have conversations with them. And then that will make it easier for you to leave the comments that are so critical and so important and so essential when you're starting out, because the post isn't going to get a whole lot of traction when you're just starting out, but you can cover a lot of ground with comments. So you want to make sure that your feed is full of stuff that inspires you to comment, and you can see a lot of people that are in there that you can comment and build relationships with. The third one is really understanding what your core content pillars are, right? What are you going to talk about? I say you break it into 3 buckets. Your first is a skills bucket. These are the things that you are doing on a regular basis for work. You are talking to your ICP, you are talking to your target audience. You are making sure that the people that you want to do business with see that that's the business that you do and the problems that you solve. Marketing and sales posts. Second, fascination. Talk about what you love outside of your work, right? There will be overlap, but you want to talk about the things that you really enjoy. I talk about AI, tech, gadgets, cryptocurrencies, tech startups, all this shit all the time. Baby goats, love baby goats. Because people feel your passion. They can feel your fascination, and they don't want to just be pitched to and sold to all the time. Let them get to know who you are. And then the third bucket is really sort of what I call window into your world posts. And that's a little bit more vulnerable. It's a little bit more raw. It's the shit that I posted yesterday. That was a window into my world post. You saw my soul yesterday. And when you put that out there, people are like, holy shit. And it gets them thinking. You want to be able to do that. If you can get comfortable doing that just once a month, it really endears people to you. And then the 4th pillar is networking, understanding how to find the right people on that platform who will help accelerate your growth and introduce you to other people. It's like this on steroids. That's it.
I love that. I always look at LinkedIn as a microcosm of the world, right? It's digital, so it's even more effective. You can find your people there very quickly if you go out and reach out to them and start following them, start commenting with them, and start building things that they're interested in. And the one thing about that concept, if you think about the real world, what works out here works in there. So spam doesn't work anywhere, right? Don't spam people, things like that. Don't stalk people. Doesn't work in the real world, doesn't work in there either. So just think about the same rules apply, but you are now intensified digitally. You reach every corner of the world now, except for China. They kind of blocked us out. But that to me is amazing that, you know, you can find everybody you want to be like, that's like you, that wants to be with you, and all that good stuff. It's all there. You just have to go out and reach for it.
How much time should somebody spend on LinkedIn?
Depends on their goals, right? I mean, it could be 20 minutes a day. It could be 11 hours a day, like me. You know, it all depends on your goals.
Add that in
What
there.
do you get from it?
How long, how many hours a day do you put in? I want that as well.
That's
so they
probably
can
at
hear.
least minimally 11, if not more. But that's my business. That's all I do. So
I would say the same. You have to, it's depending on your business, what your objectives are, but be smart about it, right? Like LinkedIn is a vast place. There's a billion people there. There's a lot of people on there, but 95% of people don't post, and 25% of their network does not show up on a monthly basis. So you could try and network with a whole bunch of people, and if they're not showing up more than once every 2 or 3 years, because they're still just using it as a job site, or they're using it for what, you know, we traditionally thought LinkedIn was about, which was just storing our existing contacts, then, you know, you're going to be wasting your time. So make sure that you're putting in really effective time. I say you want to spend at least an hour a day. You're posting, you're commenting, you're checking in at lunch, checking in at the end of the day. If that's the most you can do, great. A little bit counts. Whatever you can do to be consistent for the longest period of time. And consistency doesn't mean 5 hours a day for 5 days a week, right? Consistency could mean I can dedicate 30 minutes a day for 6 months. Do it. You will see improvement. But ultimately, you have to do what's right for you. If it becomes a burden, you won't do it. So don't let it become a burden. Start small, baby steps.
I'm not really sure what else I can add because you guys are both spot on. I like, what Liam said about consistency is really important. And so don't get all gung ho out of the gate and spend, 5 hours a day on the platform for 2 weeks and then disappear for a month. Because that's honestly worse than not doing anything at all. So whatever you feel that you can do consistently, that's manageable for you, make that what you stick to. Me personally, it's going to vary from day to day. A lot of my work is on LinkedIn or LinkedIn adjacent, I like to say. So I probably do spend, call it 5-6 hours a day on the platform, but then I also spend multiple hours a day, with clients on client calls. I have a monthly community that's around LinkedIn, so I'm doing work there as well. So all in, it's a lot of hours, but on the actual platform itself, probably like maybe 5 or 6. And yeah, just, consistency is really key. And it's what works for you. I think people get easily intimidated because they think they have to spend 4, 5, 6 hours a day on the platform, and you don't. Spend an hour, spend 2 hours, and break it up. It doesn't have to be all at once. And I would say it shouldn't be, right? Because you're going to want, if you posted something, you're going to want to nurture that post throughout the day. You're going to want to check in on your comments. So one big piece of advice, if you do post, is please don't post and ghost, which is you post and then you disappear. If you're going to take the time to post, then go back and nurture those comments that you received. Respond to them. If you get a response to your response, that's awesome. Respond to that response. And then you're going to want to check in a couple of times during the day and see how your post is doing, and then see how the posts of your connections are doing, right? LinkedIn is a platform of reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Wow, that's my tongue twister for today.
Words.
Darn them all. Check in with people that you're connected with, whose content you like, people that you care about, people who are in your network that you want to support. And so do that a couple times during the day.
And I honestly found it's easier to be on LinkedIn every day versus trying to do 2 or 3 times a day, or 2 or 3 times a week, right? Because if it breaks up, then you will just get out of the mode of doing LinkedIn. Finding content is not necessarily easy on LinkedIn. How do you find the content to engage with? And then how do you write the comments so they're actually meaningful for people? So how do you find your content? And then how do you comment so it's a meaningful comment?
So your feed is going to be dictated a lot by who you're connected with. Not always, because I swear there are people I'm connected with who I have to hunt for their posts every day, but that's a topic for another day.
we can totally bitch and moan about LinkedIn.
Yes, we can. Curate your feeds, right? I think, Liam, you probably have really good tactical tips of how to do that. For me personally, it's just engage with the things that resonate with you. Teach LinkedIn what you want to see, right? The algorithm sees what you respond to. If you have a DM conversation with someone, you are going to see their posts in your feed. So if Liam DMs me and I respond to his DM, Liam's post is going to pop up in my feed. It works better than anything I've seen. You can ring people's bells, right? Everybody has a bell next to their name. I'm going to say it really is very hit or miss. And it might work for like a week or 2, and then it stops working. So the DM trick is really good. How to make comments meaningful. So for me, it's just really showing that I read what you wrote, right? There's nothing, listen, I love when people comment on my posts. I appreciate any form of support, but I can tell if it's just a very generic, like, oh, you really didn't read what I wrote,
Great
did you?
post.
or it misses the point completely, right? I'm like, no, that's not what I said. So read the post. And something that I like to do is if there's a sentence in that post that someone wrote that really resonates with me, I copy and paste it. I put quotes around it. I make that the start of my comment. And then I say why that piece really struck me, why that sentence, really touched my heart, or why it really made me think of something different.
So all of that is fantastic advice. I think if you're just going on LinkedIn because you want to start building a personal brand, because you want to be part of the community, then finding content based on, you can search in the search bar for specific topics, for specific titles. You can use hashtag search if you want to. But for me, the real beauty and power of LinkedIn, and for an entrepreneurial audience that has business development in mind, you want to find people who are posting, who are showing up there. You want to find people who are in your ICP. So you use LinkedIn search and you find posts from people in specific roles at specific companies if you're trying to break into a company. And then you'll see all of those people's posts showing up in a feed that you can bookmark into your Chrome browser. And then you just spend your time leaving strategic commentary on your ICP's content. Massive opportunity. LinkedIn is a gigantic minefield of signals, and you can look and find signals from people all over the platform. There are so many ways that you can tell the world what you do, how you do it, where you work. Think about it. There's no other platform that really has as much of a rich profile of who we are and what we do. That's gold. People have to pay a ton of fucking money to advertise to people on Facebook through those types of third-party data, right? It's all there for you. You just got to know how to find it. You got to know how to mine it. So that's what I suggest. Ideal customer profile.
Thank you.
I gave up kind of cultivating the feed, trying to train the feed, because LinkedIn is basically housed around. There's about 16 algorithms that run on LinkedIn.
Kevin, we got to get you to hold that mic right.
Oh,
brother.
Sorry. There's about 16 algorithms that are running on LinkedIn, and they're all produced by different product groups. So the Bell group is different than the group that's going to push the reach on your post. They don't talk to each other. LinkedIn internally as a product development is a competitive process. So they don't talk. So you develop one algorithm to do this, and you develop another algorithm that defeats that. And that's what's going on. That's why you never get, when you ring bells, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can, get your post to reach farther by doing certain things. Sometimes it doesn't. And that's because of these algorithms are competing. There is no single algorithm on LinkedIn. If anybody says the algo says, they're not telling you the truth, because there's 16 at least. Those are the ones that are out there. They're patented. You could actually read them. So, that's the first thing. And I stop kind of chasing that feed or running that feed and kind of scrolling through it. And I started the bookmark process. And that is you do that post lookup. I always set it to within the last 24 hours, right? And then I go to the next one. I want their latest. I don't want the one that LinkedIn picks for you. That's the other option. And then I will go in and I will put in who I want to hear from. And I've got bookmarks that have over 150 people in it. Those are a current client list, right? I've got my LinkedIn internal people. That's probably got about 45 people in it. If I click on that bookmark, and I name them just like that, if I click on that bookmark, I've got everything they've done that day. I can scroll down it. There are no advertisements. There is no sponsored content. You're just getting what you asked for. The only time I go into the feed is when I want to see what I don't know, right? Because when you do those filters, sometimes you get inside your own bubble. The feed for me then becomes the wild card, right? Basically surprise me. And sometimes I find things in there. But much like you, Liam, with doing filtering down, instead of picking names, you can pick other content filters like industries, companies, titles, and lock those down and then give it a name on that bookmark and hit it every day. And that's a huge difference. That's you in control.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing I wanted to add is, think of LinkedIn like a gigantic CRM with all the leads built in it already. Okay. That's pretty powerful. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is their flagship product for go-to-market teams. It's what they sell to the enterprise for 6 and 7 figure contracts. You can have so much control over what you see and what you strategically comment on by leveraging that tool. It's $80 a month, so it's not cheap, but you get one client out of it per month, you're golden. And the amount of efficiency that you gain by using it, I have specific feeds for every single ICP I have, and I just attack, and it gets me right out of that echo chamber that LinkedIn is putting me into every day.
So,
oh yeah, you totally have to work
You
it,
can't
but
just buy it and it does it for you.
100%.
So, all right. So we've talked about why you should do LinkedIn, but let's get to the nuts and bolts. How do you actually find clients on the platform? Like people that actually buy your services?
I'm going to go back to the sales navigator thing because it's kind of my thing. I have a very specific ICP that I go after. I look for entrepreneurs, executives of small business, founders or executives of small businesses, small business owners, individual owners. I'm looking for people that are coaches, looking for people that are in consulting, fractional, et cetera. And I'm going to basically make sure that I'm saving all those folks into these lead lists, and I'm strategically commenting on all of their content so that they're always seeing me on their content. There's a filter in Sales Navigator that lets you see who of your search results has posted in the last 30 days. And it's usually about 10 to 15% of the total search results. So if you see people who are trying to put content on LinkedIn, but they only get like 1 or 2 comments or a few reactions, and you're one of them, they're going to look at your profile. They look at your profile, you hit them with a connection request. You send them a gift that like waves, like a Forrest Gump wave or a Napoleon Dynamite wave or something that makes them laugh. And then they want to strike up a conversation with you. And that's just how conversation starts happening. Almost 100% of my business is inbound and referral, word of mouth based. Thanks, Donnie, for sending me a bunch of folks over the years. And it's all people that I've largely never even seen on my posts. They're lurking, they're consuming, they're seeing it. Like, oh, I've been following you for 7 months. This is awesome. I would like to work with you now. It's great. It's fantastic because I don't love the outbound sales process. So that works for me.
No one hates the outbound sales process more than me. Seriously. Also, the majority of my clients are inbound. I mean, what Liam said is really golden. I don't use Sales Navigator, but it is a really powerful tool. I kind of do my own version of it just by using the search features and doing my own kind of navigating and scrolling. Word of mouth, 100%. And then the other thing I would just say is use your content as a lead generator. Not every post, if you post only about what you do and why people should work with you, they're going to unfollow you and block you. But from time to time, and that was really hard for me. I never liked to feel salesy. I never liked to feel like I was telling people what I did, but you have to. And I've absolutely seen a correlation when I've done one of those posts. I've had people reach out to me and I've had people convert to being clients because what I said about not only what I do, but why I do it really resonated with them. So don't underestimate also just from time to time, leveraging your content as well.
You know, the first thing I always think about LinkedIn is why it was designed the way it was. And LinkedIn is a business. We all get a lot of good social value from it, and we can run our businesses through it. But LinkedIn itself is a business, and it's designed around one single concept, and that is 6 degrees of separation. Anybody know that Kevin Bacon game, right? Yeah. You can meet anybody in the entertainment industry through somebody that Kevin Bacon did work with, right? And the handshakes. What LinkedIn figured out very early on is as we're building this database, we've got these profiles, and technically within the coding of LinkedIn, a profile is called a resume, believe it or not. That's really what it is. It is that kind of brochure about what we do. It's fancier than most resumes. But what LinkedIn did is they said, if we've got these 6 degrees, these 6 handshakes where you could meet anybody in the world, we're going to cut you off at 3 so we can sell the other 3 to you or you to the other 3. That is Sales Navigator. That is Recruiter. Recruiter is $1,000 a month. I've had Recruiter before. I have access to Recruiter from time to time. It's even more than Sales Navigator does for you. But what both of those products are doing is they're basically saying, gates open. You've got all 6 degrees. Much of what you can do in Recruiter and Sales Navigator, you can do in the free account. You can do it in the premium account. You're just not going to be able to do it as fast and as far. But if you're not maximizing the free account, you don't have to get into premium. If you're not maximizing premium, you don't have to get into Navigator. Until you get to that point, don't take the next step because it doesn't solve itself in that sense.
So when you think about selling into like a mid-market world, a lot of those people are not active on LinkedIn. Like if they show up once a month, you're lucky. So how do you go after the higher profile people that are not really active on the platform? 100%.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's always somebody connected to them. There's always somebody that you can build a relationship with based on that personality, the trust, the share of information. And they do take it back, because I've had a lot of people reach back to me at that level, the C level that I need, that came in at mid-management. And they said, well, Kevin knows this, this, and this. And it's pulled me in to do LinkedIn trainings. It's pulled me in to do profile optimizations for companies. And it came in that way. Had I approached that C level to get it, it wouldn't have happened, but they brought me in that way. And so part of that is, what are you sharing out there? What value are you putting on the table that they can then bring forward to their leadership?
Every action that you take on LinkedIn is a micro ad for your personal brand.
Say that again.
Every action you take on LinkedIn is a micro ad for your personal brand. You leave 100 comments a day that are strategically placed on the account that you're trying to break into because you found comments and posts from people that work at that company. That network, those people that work at that company are probably going to see your content and see your comment. Make it a good one, right? I have a story from a client that I'm working with. They are an AI company that is doing social listening. And for 2 years, they were trying to break into Cava, the place that's up the street, the Mediterranean place. Their CEO posted an article about Cava and the growth of Cava and tagged the CEO of Cava in that post. He wasn't selling. He was just saying, I love Cava, great place to eat. They're backed by the same venture capital company that our company is, and they're doing a fantastic job. And their CEO came in, thanked him for tagging him, thanked him for reading, thanked him for sharing. They were trying to break into that account for 2 years, and they now have a meeting into that account. And I also chimed in and said that I wanted a Cava in Apex, North Carolina, where I live, and they're going to do that too. So that's great.
I mean, I think you guys covered it. I don't really have a lot else that I would say except exactly that. You never know who's going to see what you put out there. And so I have had very interesting people respond to things that I've commented or posted. The one caution I would say is don't get into the game of trying to comment on these like huge influencer posts that have already, 50,000 reactions and 2,000 comments because you're not going to get noticed. They're not going to respond to you. But because a lot of the people that we actually are interested perhaps in getting the attention of aren't so active on LinkedIn, they don't post as frequently, they don't get as much engagement. If you time it fortuitously, you can absolutely get noticed that way.
Yeah, I've personally been blown away by the size of corporations that have reached out through the DMs. They're like, I've been following you for 6 months. I love your content. Can we sit down and talk to you? Come and teach networking to my sales staff. Blows me away. I want to open this up for you guys for questions too. So if you want questions, mics, just please wait for the microphone to get you so you can pick it up on the live stream. So up front when you guys are ready. Go ahead.
Actually, we have a question from the live stream.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. So, question from the live stream. When do you take the conversation from comment engagement to the DMs?
Great.
It's a really good question. I think for me personally, I move it first from commenting to connecting, and then after connecting, move it to DMs. Just the real word of caution I would use when you do move that conversation to the DMs is please, please, please don't pitch out of the gate. Like we call it pitch slapping, and there's nothing worse, right? There's nothing like you immediately feel that your trust has been violated. I just let you in my house and you just tried to steal a gold clock off my mouth. I don't know, I'm making something up, but it's really it's an icky feeling. Like you really need to build a relationship first before you move into that part of the conversation.
I would say, I mean, when you get comfortable having conversation on LinkedIn as a platform, you'll just know, you'll feel it. This really nice comment on my post, or I saw something that they posted, or something that they said on somebody else's post that resonated with